Welcome to this session. My name is Barbara Wochalia. Today I'm going to be taking you through human resource management, which is coded BA 509 for those that will be doing it as strategic human resource management and also coded as HRM 507 for those that will be doing it as project human resource management. So the labeling may be different, but the content at the end of the day is going to be the same. So practically, when we talk about human resource management, it means we are dealing with people, isn't it? We are dealing with workers. So human resource management has been defined. A number of scholars have come up with the definitions to define human resource management, but maybe our take-home message or summary in all those definitions should be that human resource management involves all those activities or functions that aim at controlling employees in any organization, right? So human resource management aims at bringing all these employees in the organization such that they work together to meet the goal of these organizations. Now, it involves a number of activities. With human resource management, like we've already seen, it involves managing people, managing employees. It also involves motivating these employees, motivating workforce. The motivation might be, can either be monetary or non-monetary, right? Then it also involves activities like competence development, where these employees are, for example, trained, they acquire what you call capacity building. Competencies basically are helping them to develop their career and be able to work effectively. Then it involves activities like recruitment and training. Recruitment involves looking for the employees, or it involves looking for the right people to fill the rightful positions. And then the training involves basically enhancing, availing the skills to these employees of these different organizations. Then it also involves what you call attrition or retention of the talent pool. After you have recruited these individuals into your organization, you have to also ensure that you retain them, and also that you build their talents, right? So let's look in detail the responsibilities of human resource management, or what you can call practices. We have what you call human resource planning, and with the planning, basically it involves, I should say, thinking ahead, right? Thinking ahead, looking at the needs, the human resource needs, and then also being able to forecast and make sure that, for example, it can happen that the turnover rate is high. The turnover rate is high. It can happen that maybe some employees could die. Some of them could get accidents and they become incapacitated. Some of them can resign. So in such situations, it involves planning ahead, being able to put that into consideration, such that you replace people in those employees in those positions. Then another responsibility is what you call performance appraisal. I believe even some of us could be human resource managers in different organizations where we work, but the essence of us sitting in this class practically should be for us to get the logic behind and the theory practically, but most important, the logic behind why we do some things that we do, why we do those activities that we do in our respective capacities as human resource managers or personnel. So we also have another human resource practice, which is performance appraisal. So with the performance appraisal, practically here, we are assessing the work input of these employees, and it can be done in different ways. For example, we can have what you call peer evaluation, where these workers, they are evaluating themselves, frequent evaluations. We can also have audit innovations. So all those are geared towards towards looking at how these employees are performing. And these performance appraisals, they can also be used to make for promotions. In other words, if it shows if you're faring well in terms of the kind of work that you're doing with respect to your duties and responsibilities, then of course the human resource managers can use it to promote these employees. Then reward systems. Reward systems here, practically, we are looking at remuneration, the salaries, for example, and this could be in terms of course, the reward system can both be monetary and non-monetary, right? The pay rises. So all that is in the reward system. It could be in terms of recognition rewards. Yeah, you've seen those organizations where they recognize maybe the best employee of the year. That is in the reward systems. Then there's also another practice of human resource management, which is the career management. So career management here, the human resource personnel are in charge of developing your career. Maybe you could be whichever kind of position it could be, is making sure that these employees actually are growing, right? Growing in line of their careers. And then training and development, you've already looked at that. That can be in terms of different programs where these employees are, where it aims at availing skills to these employees. Could be in form of capacity building, training and development programs, right? So what are the objectives of human resource management? Number one is to accomplish basic organization goals, right? Like you've already seen that the definition of human resource management involves controlling these employees to work together to come up to such that the organization goal is achieved, right? So there is that saying, is it a saying or an acronym that says team? If maybe you've heard about that, team. Anyone who knows team, that acronym called team, what it means? Anyone to tell us team, that acronym, anyone who knows what it means? Yes? Team. Anyone who knows what team means? All right. So team here, it means together, everyone achieving much. Together, everyone achieving much, right? So with the human resource management, like we've seen in the definition, these workers or employees are aimed at, they are controlled or they are managed by these human resource practitioners or personnel that actually make them to work together such that at the end of the day, the organization goals are attained. So team means together, everyone achieving much. So even you as students, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. I know we can discuss much as we are working online. I'll be sharing an online discussion forum there on the platform. Discuss, you can discuss online using that, that forum, and then you'll be able to achieve much, by the way, when you discuss than just when you know, hide yourself in the book and try to read, and sometimes you're not understanding. But if you work together as a team, as fellow students, you'll be able to achieve much. All right. Another objective of human resource management is to establish and maintain sound organizational structure and desirable working relationships. We shall be later on looking at the organizational structure, right? So these organization structures are in different types, but at the end of the day, these structures are aimed at making these employees work in teams or work together in different departments in relation, for example, to customer needs, product and geographical locations, such that at the end of the day, the organization objective is attained, as well as good working relationships among these workers, as well as with their bosses, right? And then also, it does not only benefit the organization, but attaining its goals, but also the individuals, right? These individual workers, they also attain their goals. For example, you could be employed somewhere, but at the end of the day, through these different activities like training and development, right? You end up, for example, you can be provided a scholarship, right, by your employers to study career development. So all those, as an employee, you're benefiting out of them, right? Then another objective of human resource management is the satisfaction, yeah, satisfying the needs of these individual workers, right? For example, if they are paying you your salary, they are paying you on time, you know, some employees are happy when they are paid their salary. Of course, if you find an employee who has spent months without being paid salary, you will not compare them with someone who gets their salary on a regular basis every month. Are we together? So it satisfies through these benefits, both monetary and non-monetary. They are able to actually, they are happy, they become happy. Yeah, they satisfy their needs. Some of these employees, they get this social security contributions, for example, are made, and in a way or the other, they are saving for their future, right? All right, and of course, in addition to these other benefits, prestige, recognition, all that challenging work, the individual employee will be benefiting. And then also human resource management has an objective of maintaining high employees' morale, right? This morale is built through a number of things, for example, motivation, both monetary and non-monetary, training. The morale is basically that, I should say that what makes you like your work, for example. So these benefits, for example, the payments, the motivation, the training will make these workers like their job, right? You know, it's one thing to love what you do, and it's another thing just to do a job because you need a salary from there every month, right? But it is better to love your job and like what you do, right? Then human resource management also aims at strengthening and appreciating human assets, right? Human assets, appreciating these employees is important through training and development program, right? So the appreciation can also be in terms of just thanking these employees. Even just saying thank you can be an appreciation, right? Then also human resource management aims at minimizing socio-economic evils such as unemployment, right? We shall later on be looking at what we call recruitment and the selection, but we realize that through recruitment and the selection, people are able to get jobs, right? People are able to get jobs, and this helps in reducing the levels of unemployment. That's if the human resource managers are doing their work fairly. Then it aims at providing opportunity for expression and voice management, right? So as these employees are given opportunity, maybe different positions that require maybe management challenges, that kind of scenario there, it makes them to, you know, to grow up to it. It makes them to improve. For example, their communication skills, voice management, to be able to express themselves, for example, in public. Then human resource management also has an objective of facilitating the conditions of work and creation of favorable atmosphere for maintaining stability of employment. So even the conditions of work matter a lot in terms of motivating the employees, right? Maybe if these workers are, maybe they are given lunch, that kind of thing, maybe at work, you know, the working environment, practically, they are working under minimum supervision, will make you actually, will make the working environment favorable for and stable for your employment than when the working condition is not okay. Now, these objectives, those were the general objectives, but these objectives of human resource management can further be categorized into societal objectives, organization objectives, and functional objectives, right? So the societal objectives are those that we've seen where human resource management has an objective of reducing unemployment, whereby if they are employing, recruiting people, they are reducing the social, what we've seen as the social evils of unemployment, right? Then the organizational objectives of human resource management are some of those that we've seen. For example, enabling these workers to work together as a team, such that at the end of the day, the organizations achieve their goals and objectives, right? Objectives are short-term, but goals are long-term. Then functional objectives, With function objectives here, For example, we look at activities categorized into departments. For example, it could be the finance department, the marketing department, right? So those departments, they help with the human resource management, categorizing those functions into departments. For example, it allows those departments to achieve their objectives, right? And then also these departments contributing appropriately to the organizational needs. For example, the marketing department, it contributes, right? In terms of marketing the products and services offered by the company, that kind of thing. And then personal objectives, we've seen some of those in the general objectives, where we saw that it helps these individuals to satisfy their needs in terms of maybe being paid, yeah, being motivated, being able. Because when you are paid, you are able to meet your bills, right? And then also not only that, but also developing their career through capacity building, being trained, right? And then also we've seen that they also develop themselves in terms of, for example, attaining communication and management skills, depending on the kind of positions that they are in. All right. So if we've not got any question up to that level, I want us to continue.